Hello and welcome back from the break. Uh, I believe we're all ready to get into it. So, uh, we all come in on Theolden Hall, which has many extra dressings and banners put up. And once again, it has a large grounds of many things set out, as this is, while the birthday of the twins was quite an extravagant affair. What was their coming name day? The wedding of the heir of one of the most prominent families in an entire, what is essentially a kingdom, as it is known as the Seven Kingdoms of Westeros, is a very large affair, as the attendance will be at least twice that of the name day celebration, at least for invitation wise. Of course, made sure by Vivian, as the most prominent people must be coming. Of course, this is several days before the celebration, but people are getting together as arriving early, which is not usually normal, but for a wedding of this size makes sense, that the Ashfords shall be arriving very shortly. The full Ashfords. Before that ever, we see some people arrive. Clarissa, you arrive back in Theolden Hall. You have not been back here in quite some time. It feels strange that you've been gone this long, but you see it again, and there it is. It hasn't exploded while you were gone. Somewhat disappointing.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But you are, of course, arrive with your husband. Your lovely husband. Did you bring your son? Because this would have been, did you want to bring him because there's plenty of places to take care of him, or did you decide to leave him with the matrons, which would be the first time you've been away from your son since he's been born?
Yeah, so I was gonna say definitely no because I got scared, and then I was like, but she's has attachment issues and a lot of fear about things, so she probably brought him.
All right. Yeah.
Babies can meet. Yay.
Excellent. Yeah, so you, of course, you have Calum with you. And Clarissa, you know who also is currently with you right now? Your handmaid. Yeah, you have a handmaid, Clarissa.
Oh boy, that's
Mm-hmm.
threatening.
It's threatening.
Yes, that's a lot of responsibility. Is what she's feeling now.
What's her name?
Her
My
name
handmaid?
is her name is Gala.
Gala.
Gala. So Gala is your handmaid. She is younger than you, and not by a ton, but like enough that it's very obvious she is younger than you. She is you didn't have a lot to pick from, but she was the best of your picks, essentially. And she has done a pretty good job caring for your needs. She gets a little excitable every now and again. But yeah, she is. Are you currently holding your son, or is Gala holding your son?
We're going inside of the
Yes,
hall,
you're
so
getting out of your carriage. You're getting out of your carriage right now.
Yeah, so she's holding Gala.
By she as in you?
No, she as in Gala.
All right, absolutely. So you're getting out of the carriage. you're looking about with Jaren, your knight, your sir husband, your knight. And Gala gets out and kind of looking up as she's never been to Theolden Hall. She's just like, wow. Like,
Nice
why
minute. I've run about 3 renovations on this home. Thanks.
why did they make it so big?
Honestly, I don't know. I think mostly is just a way to hassle me, but here we are.
No, like nods like, well, if anyone can handle a castle this big, it was definitely you, my lady.
Well done, Gala. And she
Oh,
walks me.
all right. And kind of bouncing Caleb and making sure he's happy. He hates being swaddled, Caleb. He's just like immediately the moment he's in any kind of covering, he's just like, no.
Very bad news for both Clary and Jaren.
He's just like, arms free. Like just immediately he every time he swaddles up, he just tries to break out. He's a little escape artist. So his hands are out, just like, yeah, just looking at all of there's so much to look at now. But as you come out, you hear sister, and just you see Catalina running towards you. And she runs up and gives you a really big hug.
Hello, Catalina.
She goes, "Oh my god, you look so great. You look like you've slept almost."
Almost is correct. And you as well. Clearly, life here has done you well.
Honestly, I've loved it. And Jaren, and he's just like, Catalina, and she gives him a big hug, and he's just like, oh, it's so good to you. Oh, I want to see the baby.
Yeah.
I want to see my nephew. I go, oh, she's like, oh my god, he's so big and so handsome. Oh, the curls. I just think, all right. It looks like that's saying.
I know.
And she immediately begins to like play his hands, and she looks up, she goes, who are you? Goes, oh, my lady Catalina, I am your sister's handmaid. Goes, oh, nice. And she just like looks down and like keeps playing with his little hands, and he's just like, bah, like immediately starts like giggling. Like, oh, he's so happy. Like, I'm so glad you're here. I can't wait to show you how how well I've done in your absence. I mean, again, doing half your job, but still.
Well, I mean, nothing looks on fire, or
It's not. It's some developments have happened that we could talk about later, but I'm sure Thorsten will inform you. And there's like a weird glaze over her face when she says that.
Yeah, just very quickly, Clary feels for the first time in like a year that excitement of, oh, something's happening. This is so good. And like is very excited all of a sudden. Yeah.
Yep.
It's like crack.
Absolutely. Goes, but everything's being handled mostly. But we are glad you're here as guests, and also I know you're probably going to start stepping into your old duties. But I'm just so glad to see you. Father injured his arm apparently. I don't know if you heard. What you did, Jaren told you.
Yes, I do.
And I'm like, yeah, well, it's crazy that you've had a husband that went to war and came back already. This is. And she's just like looking at you suddenly with like that utter family sister, like, look at my big sis, all grown up. Anyway, well, let's go inside. I'm sure Lady Vivian would love to see you again. I've done a very good job, but she often talks about you or mentions you.
They're hard shoes to fill, but yes, I would love to meet up with you and Orton later to discuss.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. No, that will happen if Thorsten doesn't grab you into a dark corner sooner. He does that a lot lately.
It's true. I'll avoid him as much as possible, but it is inevitable.
All right, so she sees you inside, and Vivian, you're already kind of coming down with the septa holding Eric. You're trying to spend more time in his presence now
Yeah.
that he is a baby. But I think to answer your question earlier, her son is actually the same age as your son.
Yeah, it was
they're like
cleared up.
yeah, they were like almost a month
Yeah.
from each other.
Yeah,
It's
the
just
last
Caleb's
last
just a lot
three-
more active.
Yeah, the last 3 babies' ages kind of blend together, then you know the trauma happened. So
But yeah, you come downstairs and Catalina goes, "My lady," announce some guests, and she moves, and you see Clarissa.
oh,
And
Clarissa.
now that we fully see Clarissa, I forgot to ask: is there any change in Clarissa's like dress and style? And
Oh, absolutely. I feel like very quickly she was forced into dressing the part as well. So it's far more opulent. Like her hair is down, it's around her shoulders. She looks her age and partially her status, but still not so much. Like she looks like she's ready to work.
what about the color of your dresses? You used to wear a lot of green due to your family, but are you wearing more blue now? Due to
Absolutely.
House Birdsong?
Yeah.
Excellent. So yeah, Vivian, you see like Clarissa with her hair styled down and kind of come around the side with this elegant blue dress, far like some jewelry in her hair. Definitely much more stately. A woman of her new position. You would see, but you see her, and she definitely has like the glow of I had a kid a bit ago.
Yeah, I just immediately just rush up to her and just hug her. It's like, oh, I am so happy you're back.
Hello, my lady. I am thrilled to be back.
Oh, wonderful. Good to hear. Oh, is this your... Oh, look at him. He's so precious.
Yeah, with this little red-headed curled boy looks at you and you kind of get close. He just starts giggling, looking at you, and it's a really precious giggle.
No, Vivian, you already had a baby. It's fine.
You don't know his name though.
Yeah, what is his name?
This is Caleb. Caleb Birchsong.
Oh,
He is very loud though, so I apologize if he begins yelling.
Oh, please, Eric is first thing in the morning. That's wants everyone to know where he is, and I'll introduce because she hasn't seen the youngest.
Yeah, you see this another black hair like boy with these beautiful green blue like eyes. He is very quietly swaddled. He's awake. He's just like looking around and making no noise, which you're like, I didn't know babies did that.
Oh, he's so peaceful. You certainly seem to be going for a record, my lady.
Well, now that I've reached 7, no one can tell me anything anymore. I am the perfect wife, according to the 7.
Better you than I.
Oh, I mean, I don't know if you want that kind... Well, it depends if you want that amount of responsibility, but it is a handful.
Dear God, no, never. She looks at Jared and she goes, never.
Jared goes, we will have as many as you are willing or unwilling to have.
No, trust me, I said never after Garrick multiple times, so. Well, I think as any welcome as ever, here is a list of things I would like you to do before our guests arrive. Welcome back, and, well, both of you. Well, 3 of you now. Welcome.
Yeah, Sir Jaren just goes, my lady, and bows to you. As he is your sworn knight.
Yeah, and before I, go off, I'll just, dip my head at Sir Jaren. Thank you for bringing my husband home to me.
Of course. You're, while great in skill, and he just stops and goes, it was my pleasure.
All right. That's an mentality. We have guests arriving. We can all get happy once we're drunk.
Yeah. Well, you have no guests arriving. The only people who are arriving today is the Ashfords.
That's I mean, those are still guests.
True.
So I guess I'll amend that.
I will say, Vivienne, in your mind, they're not guests.
They're not
just
guests. Then I'll change that.
They're the other party.
Yes. It's I'll change that. The Ashfords are arriving. They are in-laws. We must impress, but not kiss ass too. Let's go, people.
Your septa, that goes Vivian when you say kiss ass.
Yes, septa myrtle.
Tony, quick question.
Yeah.
What's the situation gonna be with Orton and Catalina now?
Well, Vivian just handed things back to you. You technically weren't necessarily needed to start your duties for a while because you're a wedding guest right now. But I mean, they're still kind of doing the job. That's like they're not gonna just stop at the moment, seeing as they're the one who are the most informed about what's going on at the moment. But they can definitely tell you. From here on out, Catalina wouldn't be needed anymore. And Orton is, and Vivian knows, Orton is going to be taking a new role. He technically will be seen as he will be known as the Weirlight's political advisor, but the actual title is Spy Master. Orton is the Weirlight's. Basically, he will be removing from the more secret of the other roles of stewardship, moving over to full position as a Spy Master. Though in public, he is a political advisor.
Yeah, I think Clary very quickly pulls Catalina aside and circles a bunch of stuff on the list that are like more stewardly duties and not social stuff. And says, I'm going to need you all to take care of this. I'm going to remain a party guest for the time being, mostly in name only. I will still be doing what the lady asks.
Absolutely. Clary, absolutely. So she already kind of writes some of that stuff down and goes, absolutely. Well, I'll be about, how to get people to get my attention.
Brilliant.
Can we get Caleb some in the nursery?
No, I'll keep him for now.
Okay.
The nursery is not a safe place in Clary's eyes. The last time she was here, it was.
Well, the nursery. There's a new nursery now, but you don't know that necessarily.
No, I do not.
But yes, I will say though, as you've all been talking, like Caleb and Eric have been put like on the ground in front of each other, and Caleb has like walked over and like looked down and then like touched Caleb's shoulder, and touched Eric's shoulder, and Eric is like. And then Caleb sat down and was like, and then like Eric just turned and stared at him, and it's just like, he's like, Eric is like holding his hands together and just like staring at Caleb, and Caleb's just like baby talking to him. Eric is like staring at him, like fully paying attention, but like not saying or reacting or doing anything.
My son.
Caleb will love that.
Yeah, Caleb will go literally forever if you let him.
He's a birch song. It makes sense.
He's very social. Eric seems a little shy and is just very quiet. Absolutely. So you kind of move off from there. There's a very large announcement, Vivian, and there's horns coming out. Like approaching the gates, and you are informed, Vivian, by Catalina, and Clarissa, you were close enough that Mariella is arriving.
Ooh.
I run out.
All right, Clarissa, you were close enough to hear that. Do you want to go greet Mariella as well?
Absolutely.
My baby!
Baby!
I'll come with Caleb too.
Yeah, so the carriage rolls up, stepped out, people are grabbed and handed, and Mariella, you step out of the carriage and look upon your home, which you have not seen in around 2 years.
Yep. A little bit of time. It's nice to know that it's still one piece, but that does not guarantee that they are all in one piece.
But you see your mother and run out, and you see Clarissa's there too, and she looks very different.
Well, it's like I've probably included Clarissa in some correspondence stuff. So it's like I probably had heard like the baby.
You are aware of the marriage and the baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
He- look.
smile and make my way to the other ladies.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Vivian is your first daughter.
I know. Oh my god, she looks so beautiful.
I'm still at that 5'6". Ain't growing
What do
no
you-
more.
Mhm.
What do you do?
She's the tiny one of the
Yeah.
group.
Yeah, I'm just gonna rush up and hug her. And give her a big kiss on her cheek. And then immediately like wipe it off because I got lipstick on her cheek.
Mhm.
Just kind of like close my eyes. It's like accept it. Just accept it.
Mm-hmm. How are you, dear? You look beautiful.
I'm doing fairly well.
Mm-hmm.
As you can imagine, made fairly good time from Highgarden with.
Mm-hmm.
Was Constance able to come with me?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's what I
Yeah,
anticipated.
Constance is, and one of your guests has come with you.
One of
that
my
you
what's?
invited, if you your guest, if you remember.
Yes.
It's Mira.
Turning, Clarissa probably sees a taller girl, dark of hair, kind
Mhm.
of. She's got like what, green eyes, if I remember
Yes,
correctly.
very nice.
Haha. Hold on.
Yeah, and it's very interesting seeing both Mariella and this girl fully in Highgarden styles.
Mm-hmm.
Clarissa.
No sleep.
No sleep.
Clarissa, I would like to introduce to you Mina Forrester, who is a fellow handmaiden to Lady Marjorie with me.
Yeah. Do you introduce her? Yeah.
And I do the reciprocate
Yeah.
to
What,
Mina.
to your mother? Do you introduce her to your mother?
She's already met my mother.
Oh yeah, that's right. But yeah.
But
you
yeah,
didn't-
no, like I do like the reintroduction. It's like as you've met my mother, and this is
Mina,
and I introduce Clarissa as Lady Clarissa Birchsong.
Yeah, Mina bows to you, Clarissa, and it's just like, Malitia, I've heard much about you, and you definitely hear that sort of like faded brogue of the north. The north.
And we all think of Sad Dad.
I think,
Sad dad.
what could have been? Do you think it's very nice to meet you, and it's great to see you again, Lady Vivian, and I want to thank you again for inviting me into your home and letting me celebrate you and on this very happy time.
We're happy to have you as well, Mina.
Yeah, she nods and she goes, "Your home is breathtaking."
Thank you. I hope the trip from Highgarden was at least pleasant. I know the long rides, at least the scenery, is there to keep you all company.
It was quite beautiful, actually. Very nice traveling down south by the Rose Road. Much better than coming from the King's Road, I'll say.
Well, I'm glad your travel was safe, but you all must be tired. There is tea, Maria, set up in your usual spot if you want to take Mina there. Your brother is currently on the floor talking to his new friend, and your other one is somewhere. I'm not sure.
Yeah, so, well, Caleb and Eric have been brought forward. So, Mariella, you never really got to meet Eric. You were gone before he was born.
Yeah, I think I kind of. Does he have like remotely similar eyes to me, or is it just like a green-blue color?
They're very similar to you.
Yeah.
I understand that yours is like mostly, it's
like a light green inside, and then it's a very stark change to like blue on the outside.
Yeah, so he has the reverse of that.
Okay.
And I think, but you do see that similarity between you two.
Yeah, I think I kind of like
dark hair.
Yeah, I think I take him like into my arms and kind of like hold him while like we maybe have like a little bit of the rest of the conversation.
Yeah, he's just looking up at you. He's just like,
I think like I kind of get like do like a small like finger
Mhm.
thumb like around his hand and things like
Mhm.
that, kind of like very slight like sway or jiggle kind of a thing.
Yep. And that's your little, like your little brother. So Vivian, do you introduce them?
Yeah.
As is polite.
Yeah, no, I'll just come up to Eric and just just kiss his cheek also, and just like, this is your older sister, Mariella. Just to let him know, because
And
I feel like I talk to Eric more because he doesn't like babble like my other kids did when they were babies. He listens.
He does. He does listen.
So I just talk to him like he's still a full person and not an infant.
Mhm.
But yeah, just to let him know, and then just to let him know who's there, and then introductions and whatnot.
Yep. And Mariella, you are also introduced to Caleb and Clarissa's handmaiden, Gala.
No, it's a weird change. I don't appreciate it very
this must be so awkward for you.
It's horrible, actually. The transition period was bad. Not you, Gala.
Oh, all right.
You giving up control willingly would be bad for most parties all around.
I knew you would understand, Mariella. And she gives her a pat on the shoulder.
But it has been very good for her health, says Jaren, very
Jaren.
pointedly.
I think there's like kind of like a small smile and arched brows. It's like, I hope you've received most of my letters.
Of course, you've done exactly what I've asked you to. Thank you.
Kind of turned to my mother. It's like, do you want me to possibly have him out of the way? Well, is anybody else arriving today?
Well, the Ashfords are arriving today, and also, Mariella, we have people for that. If you want to spend time with your little brother, you're more than welcome to, but you...
Well, I
are
would,
you...
but then I can
Mhm.
hand him off to Septa Myrtle.
This is true, but Mariella, you do not have to be in charge of your younger siblings anymore. You are out and free in court, and we have people for that.
I
Have fun,
understand.
dearest. Yes,
Very-
no, go ahead. By the yes, tell me you were going to say but, and then interject with some idea of your own.
Yes. I was going to say, but
Mhm.
I've literally just met him and would like to spend at least a few more minutes with him before handing him off to the Septa. And then I can be there to help assist with the Ashfords when they arrive, if
And
it's necessary.
As I said, you are free to do what you want. This is your home. I'm just saying you do not have to.
Larry gives Mariella's shoulder a squeeze and kind of leans in and goes, just like old times. And then her and Caleb go back off into the hall.
Yeah. Jaren bows. He goes, "It is so lovely to see you healthy and happy, my lady."
You as well, Jared.
Yeah. So he bows to you, and off they go. Back inside. Clarissa, you see like Jaren runs into like John and I think we're like, and they immediately go like away and like clasp arms and then do like the guy thing where they like punch each other.
Brother.
Yeah, I quickly
bro
mention
thing,
while
yes.
John is there to Jared. I'm like, John once saved me from an assassination attempt. Kind of. It was kind of.
They're like, oh, I think, oh yeah, I think, well, it's sort of a bit, and get into that. You then very quickly, Clarissa, run into Nero Black, and he's standing there, and he just goes, "Lady Clarissa," and there's this like look on his face, like he's really obviously, it's like that old man, like who hasn't seen his like granddaughter a long time, almost. It's just like, "Lady Clarissa," and he just immediately comes up to you.
Yeah, big hug.
Yeah, he gives you a hug. He goes, "Oh, you look radiant."
You're too
Like-
kind.
And you look two back at home.
Yes,
You've missed it,
it is
haven't you?
nice to be here.
He goes, "You missed it, haven't you?"
Oh, God, so much. It's so boring doing it on my own.
I understand. Yes, bigger castle, bigger problems, but I know that's where you shine. I will say your sister has been doing an exemplary job. She has learned quite quickly, very personable. Not quite you, but where her failing from, the Orton has done quite well. He's very good at keeping me informed of things. Terrible fan of double talk, that one. Quiet in the step, too.
At least it comes with the territory, right?
Yes, quite. We have been grateful for his help as of late, ever since the incident. There has been much excitement. There has been much excitement here, my lady. But for now, let me simply wish you a welcome back.
She gives him a pat and a kiss on the cheek. They continue.
Yeah, he smiles very big. And then he goes up, Sir Jaren, you old cock! just,
Yep.
and they just do the men thing where they punch each other in the side. Absolutely. Henrik, Tiedrick, there was a call, a carrying call, but why didn't you two hear it? What are you two doing right now that is so engaging?
Well, for Henrik, what's more engaging for him is the demands and attention of his
I would say
other.
you two are together currently, Henrik.
Mhm.
We're not together.
No, we are.
Oh shit!
So,
Okay,
because,
never mind.
you
Switch
are
that
not
up.
you are not in the grand hall currently, I will say, otherwise you would have heard things. You are somewhere else. Where are you and what are you two doing that has further engaged your attention?
Preparing the surprise gift.
Preparing the surprise gift together?
Why not?
Well, I mean, I don't know. Depending on where we were, because I also had.
Go ahead.
Okay.
No.
I didn't know if this was normal custom for Westeros, but I was also had a gift for Ashella. I don't know if couples exchange gifts or anything, but I have one for her just in case. So.
I mean, you don't have to, but like you can. It's nice.
No, for sure.
Nice. So like dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I was just asking, are you two sparring together? Are you two
I would think that would be one of the things we might be doing.
Yeah.
Be sparring together.
I think like is Tiedrick almost like trying to reenact the part from like, and so then I jumped, lost Reaver. I'm like, all right, so you be that fiend Flint, stand right there. We're like reenacting the scene. I'm trying to like kneel down. So where were you? Then?
All right.
I love it.
Reenacting that.
I just
Love it.
imagine like Tiedrick with like a stick and he's like drawing it out in the dirt and then
yeah,
I did
for
this.
sure. I'm like, so building one,
and it's
was
like
over
a
here.
horrible stick figure.
Like, yeah, okay.
We're a little off the ground, the base grounds of the castle. You can still see it, but you are like out there with your horses, kind of having an exchange. Some of your men are nearby, like making sure no one runs out of nowhere and murders you. But they are giving you a distance. Kyle's there with drinks. There's like a little tray set up. Essentially, y'all are rich and powerful.
Yeah.
And this boy, he killed a man with a dagger.
Like,
Well, did you now?
I did defend him until his death. I did defend the camp until his death, my lord. Yes, with a dagger. The dagger that you gave me, my lord. And he gestures to it. And if y'all remember, you gave him a dagger way long time ago.
It came up.
It did.
Did Alley Cat return?
Not that you're aware of at the moment.
That doesn't mean she's not here. So
You're nowhere to be
She's
seen
just-
yet, buddy.
She's
You
just
don't know.
everywhere.
Yeah, but you two are just out there talking about the battle and reenacting some light play with your swords.
It's Rand time.
I promise you, if you were there, there would have never stood a chance.
I could even.
Not that they
Hey.
did. Anyway, maybe I wouldn't have taken this wound.
He has like he fully healed from that by now, right?
Yeah. He is healed. It's stiff, but like, yeah, he's healed from it.
He had several second doses of milk of the poppy while it was
Yeah.
brewing, because he didn't listen to Thorsten.
No.
Yeah, it's been quite some time.
So that's where Henrik gets it from. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, so you two are in a team together.
Yeah.
So tell me, my boy, what transpired here while I was gone? I know you don't want to really discuss too much in front of Mother and all the rest of them.
Right, though I feel like anything I would hide from Mother, she'll find out sooner rather than later.
Better from my words than yours. I can kind of subdue her a little. Don't tell her I said
better at that.
Kyle just goes like,
See,
Yes. Henrik kind of like, once you mention that, does kind of like glance off a bit, like,
wait, you mean something really did happen?
it was something small that we took care of. Should be resolved now. There was an issue with some of the farms up north of our land. They poisoned water or something, killing some of the crops and livestock, but we took care of it. But the main root of the problem was a bit unexpected, and I believe Marston and I were trying to figure out more of what's going on. And he just like kind of looks at you and like clearly
He
is
has
like
a completely
getting caught in his
dumbfounded
throat
look on
almost.
his face, going like, "Okay, what?"
Yeah. Like I said, it's nothing. I took care of it, so I think should be fine.
Next time, a little bit more oomph, but spoken like a true lord.
Yes, Father.
Always got to be sure of yourself. Do not let them see you falter.
Kind of all I had, yeah.
TJ, can it?
So, how is your bride to be?
Well, TJ, you don't know.
No, I haven't spoken to her in person yet. I've tried to send her letters. She's responded to some of them. I don't. I know she's not thrilled about this, but I don't know. I'm going to do everything I can to make her happy here and make sure she feels welcome. But I don't know what I can do. What I did at our name day was pretty terrible. And I know I wouldn't myself, and I don't blame her for not doing that.
I was hoping to hear a bit of better news, but I guess it's not terrible news either, so... Well... Son, just... be true to her.
Fine. I want to make this a good life. I want us to be happy together. I know I'm probably not going to ever have what you and Mother have. That was pretty lucky there, but I think I can be a good husband and a good lord.
Well, so far you are proven that you would be a good lord. Now, just go with what your heart says to be a good husband.
Try. I got her gift when she arrived, so hope that helps
Marvelous.
something.
What did you get her? Oh, no, don't tell me. I want it to be a surprise for me too.
I mean, okay.
No.
something might be familiar to you, I feel like, but yeah. I guess you'll know that later.
All right. All right, then. Would you like to take a swing at your old man?
I would absolutely love to do that.
Got the guts.
You got the. You
As
hear
I pull out the stick.
in the distance. You hear Cedric go whoa when he says if you've got the guts.
Enough with emotions. Fight me.
No,
with a
fathers,
stick.
that injury in your shoulder seems to move a little slower than usual. I think I'll be able to take you now.
Absolutely, you grip blades and begin to have at one another. The best. Thorsten.
Yes.
The Ashfords are arriving today. Many other people are arriving today. Clarissa might be coming today. It's up in the air in your mind. What are you doing, man?
Well, with me being in my personal mind dungeon,
Mm-hmm.
continuously working through this blood magic,
Mm-hmm.
doing things. Did I ever receive that baby?
No, Thorsten, you have yet to receive a baby.
Okay, I just wanted to be sure.
Um,
I'm sorry. I'm trying to keep a straight face, boss.
no, a decision hasn't been like fully grasped on that.
Okay.
You did say you wanted to inform Clarissa about it before.
Well, of course, yes. But I wanted to know where I was, because
no, currently there's you do not have a baby.
Okay. And I'm assuming the snake man is still locked up.
Yes.
Okay.
He's in a pit.
He's in a pit, of course. A hidden pit.
Yes, a hidden pit in your dungeon.
I guess Thorsten is actually gonna go out for some fresh air, like he does once a week,
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of take in everything going on, just so he can gather his thoughts with that. See if he needs to do anything out there before he ventures back down to the troubles of his own mind.
Mm-hmm. As you are out and about, you just hear from your right going, Maester Thorsten, and it's Orton, and you're just like, Dad. He's
Every
very
time.
quiet. He's very quiet.
Every time.
It goes, apologies.
No worries, Orton. How are you?
Well, very well. I wanted to inform you that Lady Clarissa has arrived.
Oh, she has.
Yes, with her husband and son.
As expected.
Indeed.
Thank you for the information. I will...
Yeah, well, I saw you emerge, so I thought I'd take the opportunity.
I appreciate that. And I will head towards where I probably know where Clarissa's at, because of Clarissa being Clarissa.
Where is Clarissa at?
I would say she probably pawned the child onto Darren as he has his talks with his war buddies, and she goes directly to her office with the book.
Yeah, he's just holding Caleb and then just drove a sword right through his face. Yeah. He's just as Caleb's just like climbing up onto him, just like.
Yeah, she like blends in so that he doesn't see her and leaves. You won't stop her this time. Weirlight land.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So where are you going?
I'm going to my office.
Okay, so you enter your office, and a lot of things are different, seeing as this has been Catalina's office and where she's been living, essentially. It is now all in Catalina's system, which is very similar to yours with certain differences.
But it's not yours.
There is also on your desk about 12 different kinds of perfumes. And apparently, why don't you give me a cunning test?
Does memory apply?
No.
All right. 11.
11. It's good enough to figure out. You think from the hints around the desk, and you're not sure how some of these things are cataloged, and you realize she's literally cataloging different things instead of by like alphabetical order or by some way you can visibly see what is what. She is scent marking pages. Apparently, she has adapted your paranoia, but just to a very different flavor.
Have to try that.
Mm-hmm. And there is sort of you do believe that the like accounts are this perfume and certain in this perfume, but yeah, also like it definitely seems like your sister is not nearly as much as like a tea drinker as you. There's a lot more just like wine in here.
Yeah. Tracks.
But you do feel like this has been Catalina's space for quite some time, and you feel that.
I feel like she steps in, she notices all of this, and she goes, "Never again." And turns around and walks out the door and goes to Thorsten's office.
Mm-hmm.
Before Thorsten would arrive at, because he was going to go to Clarissa's office, could he have, before all this has happened, kind of grabbed some of her personal effects and just kind of held on to them for her so nothing was messed with on...
If you wish, sure.
Yes, I would like to bring them to her as I am walking to her.
So halfway through to Thorsten's office, Clarissa, you run into Thorsten in the hall. He looks a little different. He has a beard now, and it looks like he has not seen a lot of sunlight.
And by a lot, he means a lot.
A lot.
A lot.
Before, he was always kind of like, not very tan, but he is pale now.
Clarissa, it is so good to see you again.
And you, Maester Thorsten, there's... so much has changed. But again, so much remains the same, of course.
You have no idea.
I cannot wait to hear. And she slips the book out of the band and kind of presents it to him. Would you like to see?
I would love to see. It would answer probably more than half of the questions that I have rattling around in my head right now.
More than half? I sincerely doubt it. It might spawn about 1 million more. We can look.
I never said anything about spawning more. I just said it would answer about half of what's going on.
I mean, Thorsten, do you want to show her?
I'm going to. I'm going to take her down.
Because you definitely haven't written her about this, because that would be... No.
That would be stupid.
Yeah, that would be really
very stupid. Before we go to my office, I'm going to take you somewhere first. And I'm going to take her down to where the old maester was.
Yeah, so...
And still is.
Thorsten leads you into the storage area outside of the main castle, goes up behind a crate, moves it, opens the crate, pulls a lever, and the wall moves.
I've been busy.
Really?
Yeah. You walk in to this room, and yeah, Clarissa, you see a room that is just like, it is the mad lab of a dark sorcerer, essentially. There is dried blood everywhere, and still completely unmoved is the skeletal remains of a maester in the center of some kind of ritual circle.
Yeah.
Hey.
And since she's here, I now pull out the book where I've hidden it additionally from where it was hidden.
Yeah.
And I present it to you this time. Want to trade?
Absolutely. Bunch of fucking nerds.
Mhm. Yeah, Clarissa, it is the missing cipher and pages that you needed from all that time ago. And it looks like Thorsten has translated all of it and moved it around. And it is the most literal, insane thing you have. You have read the bits of the book of Asterwood, What You Can. This is literally insane. And it explains what happened to the maester all those years ago. He sacrificed himself in order for Vivian to have children born because of the details of the curse. He killed himself to abate the curse for a short time. It is clear that this man is made of dedication, as he was the maester of Theolden Hall for literally 60 years.
Wow. Okay.
Sorry, excuse me, 50 years. Long time.
Okay. I guess that's better than the way we had originally been thinking.
Agreed.
You do get farther and you realize that Henrik is about to be married, and according to this, the curse is about to jump and become more active. And according to his notes, the best way to abate this is a blood sacrifice. The less experience the soul has, the more it is wanted. And the best blood is born in the Redlands. And in a note that clearly Thorsten has made, there's a line drawn from both those to a thing certain, and it says "baby?" ?
Ooh, okay. You're going to have to correct me if I'm wrong. But is this...
You're not wrong.
Oh, God.
Yes, it's that bad, but duty is priority.
Of course.
Your sister sees it the same way.
Why
Before
couldn't we have found this before I had a 2-year-old? Why?
You like babies now.
Okay.
100% feel you because of my nieces and nephews.
Did you ever find anything about the kids that went missing?
I cannot remember that, did I?
Mm-mm.
No.
The only thing that might lead to it is a statement, a very scribbled statement in the journal about the curse being hungry. That might be a lock to it, but that from what you've rolled last time, Thorsten, but that's the closest you've come to. That whether that's an answer or not, or even remotely related, you're not sure. But it's the only way that you can really think. Again, in the end, this person obviously wasn't really necessarily in the beginning, this person was making detailed notes for someone who came after him, but at the end, he was just writing things down to not forget them.
Yeah, and you can clearly see how that is when it's written in the book. It's nice and neat, and 20 pages later, it's not as neat, and the last page
it devolves pretty quickly. But yeah, there is full instructions how to use blood magic. And you're starting to read the stuff, and you're looking up and around the recently used things Thorsten has, and it looks like maybe Thorsten's been playing with some stuff.
I very much understand why you never mentioned any of this. It does still make me incredibly uneasy. Are you okay, Thorsten? You look ghastly.
I think I can count on one hand the amount of times I've seen the sun in the last year. That's why I look so ghastly, because I'm trying to figure this out. I think the
Okay.
last time I was out was when Hedrick came home.
Thorsten, that can't continue to happen. That's not. You're no good to anyone locked down here, especially not me, or the curse, or the Weirlights. Our family, they need you.
I agree. I'm thankful they haven't needed me yet. And I know I'm doing that on borrowed time, but I think this is even more borrowed time because of the wedding coming up.
Yes.
I had to kind of pick my poison.
Well, and now you'll have me.
Mhm.
So when I don't get to see the sun, you'll see the sun all you want.
Clarissa,
Uh-oh. Uh-huh.
I need you to make a cunning roll, and yes, memory will apply here.
Yay. 15.
15. Yeah, absolutely. You do it. As you're saying this to Thorsten, you're going through and you see this cipher in it that kind of translates some of the notes, and you realize something, Clarissa. That cipher is an old cipher, and you realize there is writing in the book of Asterwood that this cipher could decode that you've never been able to read before.
Yeah, I think she cuts off in the middle of her sentence and throws both books open right next to each other and says, "Look,
Mhm. Yeah, Thorsten, you see what she's pointing out to, and you're like, "What is?" Oh,
Can I roll my cunning decipher?
yes, yes. If you want to begin to try and wordlessly,
Yes.
just begin to translate.
Knowledge.
Dream team, baby."
Mhm. Absolutely. You'll. Oh my god.
Study buddies
Oh my
reunited.
god. Oh my god. Yeah,
Two
that's
sixes. Holy
yeah.
shit.
You get a +2 due to Clarissa's help. So that is a total of 3 degrees of success.
Jesus Christ.
Whew.
Yeah, you begin to translate like madmen, and definitely no one sees Clarissa until dinner. Yeah, Joan's like, "Have you seen my wife? Has anyone seen my wife?" Just and like, "Oh, I'm sure she's about," and no one's.
Yikes.
But yeah, you begin to translate. No one sees Clarissa until dinner. But with 3 degrees of success, that's really good, man. Yeah, you will begin to see that this passage is about an an old member of the Asherwood family talking about defending the land and trying to preserve the Weirlight family. It speaks of the curse in a more detailed manner. And it first talks about well-meaning servants of the family and the dark things they did to try and stave off the curse. But with 3 degrees of success, you managed to translate a sort of hidden part of it that states, blood sacrifice to stave off the curse, in fact, makes the curse stronger.
Oh.
It does make it go away, but when it comes back much more terrifying. So after this new light, Thorsten, you realize if you had killed a baby, it would have made it worse. This man talks about a similar servant many years ago that basically did the same thing, and when it came back, it consumed the life of the lady Weirlight. and states that the curse must be broken, but it states it can only be broken. It, lovely enough, it doesn't say how.
Of course, it'd be too easy if it did.
It states it can only be broken by an heir of House Weirlight. And it says very specifically the heir. Not the Lord, the heir.
Great.
You then mentioned something about, it then says, it goes, only the heir armed with the dream blade has a hope, is the sentence. But you're like, sure, of course, the
Yeah.
best.
The heir
Makes
armed with the
sense.
dream blade, what?
Has a hope.
Like,
Goes, blood is sown, but you cannot wash away blood with blood, is what it says.
did Henrik ever tell Clary or Thorsten about what happened when he passed out with that Weirlight situation? The first time.
Did you, Henrik?
I don't think I went into full detail with it. No,
Okay.
I don't think I did.
I had wondered how many times I'd even been awake, conscious, when it dragged me back, but maybe we can find out.
Yeah. With 3 degrees of success, with some more studying, maybe tomorrow, you will be able to get more information, but there's only so much you can consume in one day. Seeing as a lot of this is just ancient rhetoric, there's lots of here tos and therefores and forthus, and just like, it takes
Nows.
literally like 3 sentences to say, don't kill people. Like, it's so much
It's very,
prose and
haiku-ish or poetic.
yes.
Mhm.
Very, very much so. But yeah, Thorsten, you kind of are running to the Book of Asteroids seems to be a book of dark things that are hounding the lands and ways to protect against them. It's very strange. There is literally a short chapter on something called a Balverine. You don't know what the fuck that is, but apparently it's a thing that haunted the lands many years ago. And it's very odd. And there's lots of weird archaic sentences and statements in here. And it says this is only supposed to be viewed by the eyes of an Asterwood. Obviously, you have apparently been made an exception. What with the weirdness. However, I will say while you're talking, Thorsten, you quickly realize you have to feed your prisoner.
Oh, yes.
Oh God.
So you, of course, oh my God.
As I'm walking to the prisoner, I'm going to explain everything that happened with this.
Yeah, so you're
to
like,
Clary.
so Clarissa, as he's like pulling from a cage a live small like javelina, like a little pig, essentially. So anyway, there's this thing, and he just throws it into a pit. And you look into it, and there is a massive snake. I mean, this would actually probably be more like a rabbit. There's a massive snake that just bites this thing and wraps it up, and then begins to like consume it.
You're probably not going to believe me, but this is a man, not a snake.
That's
do
very
believe
clearly a
you.
snake, Clarissa.
But I do believe you that man said he could turn into things, right?
Yeah, and I saw
What's
it
his
with my
name?
own eyes.
That's not him, is it? Is that the same?
It is.
We've had him as a prisoner for a very long time.
Eh, Everybody else, I think, thinks he's dead.
That is true.
Yeah,
Everyone thinks he
better
was
that way.
hung.
Yeah.
Everyone but Henrik and you think he is hung.
And Clary's
Well,
sister and Orton.
Right, yes, but of the main characters is what I'm saying.
Yes.
Believe
Uh-huh.
he was hung,
Hmm.
when in
Okay.
fact he is in this pit.
And you're keeping him in a pit. Why? What help is he?
I'm not done experimenting.
That's fair enough. I mean, makes sense to me.
Do you want to drop the smoke bomb you've made for this in there after he's done eating, Thorsten, to
Yes.
show her?
Yes,
Yeah.
I would.
You see him drop this weird like vial of smoke in there, and it fills up and then begins to recede through these small like grates. And then you see the snake like begin to like burst and grow strange. This mist obscures most of it, but there is a massive snake skin around a bright red skinned man who is naked now down there.
And I'm sure she recognizes him as the prisoner.
Yes. Considerably more less hair now because of the constant transformations, but yeah, it's just like a naked dude down there.
Was it the drug? What drug did he ask for?
As I'll explain it to you as we walk back.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yep, you explain the drug and the he found out the literally insane ritual to be able to do this.
Would not recommend.
I hadn't planned on it, to be honest with you. It wasn't in my.
You can definitely tell Thorsten did up until a point. Up until a point.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, sun. Great. Wedding. Sun. You have to appear for the wedding in the sun.
I will
the
be there
people
for the
are-
wedding. I definitely will be there for the wedding. It's just the curse.
No, Trust me. Trust me, I understand. My husband is going to be so very upset with
Blame it all on me. I occupied your time.
You know what? I'll take you up on that, actually. Day one is a little too soon for my tastes.
Excellent.
Shall
So
we?
Day one back in, Clarissa. You're back in it. Do you feel that high?
Oh,
that rush?
absolutely. You know, that post pregnancy rush with a lot of time off glow has completely worn off and replaced is the blood magic glow.
Mm-hmm, indeed. So some little time later passes, and Henrik, you run into you walk into a room where you see your sister.
Mari,
Haven't seen-
I
I haven't seen her
I
in
think
a hot minute.
I think I just like that child like joy comes over me and I just rush to give her a hug.
It is your brother.
It's so funny how it's like you're gone for 2 years and then the physical affection shows up. It's like, what?
Mhm.
I know there's like decorum. Fuck that. I just went up and hugged my sister.
How much later would this be from me arriving?
Oh no, not terribly amount. Maybe like 2 hours.
Okay. I think I probably would have passed Eric off to whoever, like probably for a
holding
nap or
her.
whatever.
Mhm.
Yeah, but I'm probably with Constance and Mina and maybe Eve if Eve was brought.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, if you invited Eve, she's 1,000% here. She's
Yeah.
just like, yes. She's looking for a husband.
Yeah, they all are.
Handsome girl. Yeah.
Yeah. So you run up and hug your sister, and quickly realize there are 3 other young
Henrik-
ladies with her.
Henrik-
Which one of them you recognize as Constance, but the other 2 you have never seen in your life.
Constance, hey.
Hey, girl.
What up?
Constance is like, Henrik, it's you look different.
Constance, great to see you too. I'm so glad you all made it safely here. It's wonderful to see you all again. And
Yeah,
Harry, tell me you have
It's Mariella. Who's this?
New.
Yes. I think kind of gesture. It's like, Henrik, this is Lady Mina Forrester, who is a handmaiden with me for Lady Marjorie. This is her companion, Eve. I don't believe you ever told me Eve's last name, like house name.
Yeah. In fact, now that you're realizing it, you've literally never heard Eve's surname,
Yeah.
and that's a little like, why don't I know her last name? Which is weird because everyone says their last name.
Yeah.
In Highgarden especially. But yeah, you actually just know her as Eve.
Ladies, this is my twin brother, Henrik.
Eve is like, oh, congratulations.
Thank you. It's a nice
Yeah, is it? Yeah, like absolutely. I think she, like Kirsty's like, thank you so much for allowing us in. Mariella invited us. We're so happy to meet you and be with you on your very happy day. And Mina bows and goes, it's very nice to meet you. Henrik, and congratulations on your wedding.
Thank you, and grateful for you for helping my sister deal with all of the demands her Lady Marjorie requests her. So thank you for being her friend in the new place. I appreciate
Cool.
that.
Can you make me a persuasion charm check, Henrik?
Good point. I should do that. I knew it. I knew it was coming. Okay. Well, I'm gonna use my higher persuasion roll now.
Yep. And make sure to reroll ones. You're attractive 100%.
Oh, to these guys too. Yes. Oh,
100%.
it's been a while since I got to use this. Okay. Persuasion charm.
You're my twin. Of course you're going to be attractive.
All right, there is a 1 in there.
You're one of those. Okay.
So roll a d6, please.
Everything was up.
All right,
The
well,
1.
good to know.
Just,
Well,
just
13 is really good.
still fair.
Yeah, it was like a TN. It was like a TN6. So yeah, that's like 2 degrees of success. Yeah, they kind of laugh a little bit, and they're just like, well, we're very happy that we've become friends, and very glad to be here. And Mariella, you can immediately tell, like, both obviously even Mina like your brother. They're not going to do anything, but like you can definitely tell they're obviously very attracted to him, and they seem to like him. Henrik is charming, you know.
Mm-hmm.
He's like a little more well spoken than you kind of remember him being. Especially when you were one-on-one, he was a lot more casual, being like, "Hey, Mary," but now he stands taller than you remember. It's kind of weird.
Does Mariella look different? I know we've described Henrik as like
her styles are very different. Her hair is worn different, and it's kind of more back and kind of down in the Highgarden style. She doesn't have sleeves.
Whoa.
Shocking. You see shoulders, man.
A little bit, yeah. Whoa.
All the ladies in here are all bare shouldered. Like
just looking around. Whoa.
Yeah.
Scandalous. Mariella, cover yourself.
Cloak over. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
I am assuming you were out somewhere earlier?
He does look a little sweaty.
I was. Me and Father were catching up a bit after Mandy was regaling me with his war stories.
New ones, I'm guessing.
Indeed, new ones. He seems quite proud of how he got a certain injury and wants to retell this event over and over again. It was, if it's true, quite a feat, but I don't know. Looking at Father, I'm not sure, but I'll tell you about it soon.
He does tend to be very proud of his own personal prowess. Yes. How are preparations and everything going? Mother had mentioned the Ashfords were arriving today.
Yes, they are. Very soon. Myself and what's our wedding planner's name? I've heard it like 5 times.
Wormwood.
Wormwood.
Yes. I always want to confuse that with the guy that was the other player who
Wendell
killed us.
Wormwood is his name.
If anything,
Wendell,
think
yes.
like the dice vaults and the company called Wormwood.
Good
Does that
one.
help?
Also, Wendell's a pretty memorable name too.
Yes, Wendell Wormwood.
Alliteration.
Yes. Oh, Wormwood has been talking my ear off about
And his nephew.
Yes. His assistant nephew. And trying to prepare for their arrival. And oh yeah. Bit nervous, but I think everything should go well. We have everything planned. All right.
You hear a voice off to the corner. Mariella, you see a very tall, very handsome, kind of like ash blonde haired man in a very fine outfit. It's it's kind of dark colored, but there's lots of like lavender highlights throughout it. And sort of like this orange sun pin on his on his chest. And he goes, "Oh, terribly sorry. I don't mean to interrupt anything. I was told, yeah, you can absolutely roll status reading to know who this is.
Got this. Whisper it to me who it is.
You
I mean, Henrik, you
know who it is.
Henrik, you know who this is.
I know. I'm kidding.
12. Yeah, that is. Yeah, absolutely. That is high enough. Yeah, you,
That is so
Mariella,
low
you
for me.
recognize the bear. This is the heir of to the castle of Ashford and the Ashford lands. This is Ashlyn Ashford, and he is more attractive than what you were told. And you were told he was very attractive. There is a small, like your will is intense and high, so there's no reaction on your face.
Mhm.
But this man is fucking stunning.
Means Henrik too. How attractive this man is.
And he goes, "Oh, terribly sorry. I was just informed that Henrik was in here. We needed to meet about a thing."
I'm sorry, Lord Ashlyn. Did you need my brother?
Oh,
And before you could say anything, it's like, yes, Lord Ashton, this is my sister, Lady Mariella.
oh, my lady. And he immediately comes up to you and will bow to you, and take your hand, kiss the back of it, very courteous, very traditional in the reach, the sort of chivalry involved. And he goes, "I do not believe we've ever been formally introduced, but I do recall a rather stunning dance you made at the Ball of Ashford many years ago. It seems it seems you have only grown more splendid, as I've come to expect from the Weirlight family." And it goes, "And who is all this?"
Yes. She'll kind of like do a hand gesture.
And
like,
introduction
proceed
mode.
to introduce.
Mina Forrester and now you of course know Ashlyn's married. Very lovely to see you. I'm so sorry that I appear to be interrupting a reunion. Do you need a moment, Henrik?
I think I'll have time. Mariella, we can talk. Is it all right if we talk later?
Absolutely, unless you would like to join us.
I mean, actually, I mean, if you, I think I don't see any harm in having Mariella's opinion on this, Henrik. It is about the wedding.
Then her opinion is most welcome. Yes.
Well, follow me, I suppose, and we'll gesture, of course, obviously allowing your friends to come with you as well.
Yeah, I think she kind of like puts it to the ladies, like, if they want to rest, they can. If they'd like to join, they can.
They're very happy to join.
Okay.
It's too hot, guys. They're all
and like this is when Henrik sees Mariella hasn't fucking grown at all.
Oh, so I'm like actually like a good bit
She's
taller than you.
5'6".
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it used to be around the same height. Now you're like, you're getting getting pretty far above her now.
I'm just like 6'1", 1.6 about right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you said last time you were like 6'6'1".
You grew like 3 inches since you guys have gone. Henrik is much taller.
Yeah, it's like
and
I want to say I'm like either like kind of like here or like maybe
Shoulder-
sternum or something like that.
Yeah,
Like there's
yeah.
a difference.
yeah, there is a difference for sure. But yeah, you go off to Ashlyn. Basically, goes, yeah, basically, we need to discuss more of the wedding details. I just need some final things before my father arrives today.
Have you been here long, Lord Ashlyn?
Oh, I've been here for several months, actually. Your brother has been playing host to me, as is tradition in our family, as a sort of prearranged marriage like this. Normally, my father would be here, but he was far too busy, so I came. And so in the month, Henrik, you and Ashlyn have kind of come to you are very civil with one another. You haven't completely won him over or anything, but he is nowhere near as shitty to you since your talk. He seems to be like, okay, I will start at a place of 0, and it is your job to increase that.
That was way better than where we started. So I'm happy with
you
that.
started at a very bad place.
Yes.
You were down in a hole.
He
This
was
time you gotta start
just
at the ground
above
level.
challenging you to a duel to the death.
Out of the snake pit, we're on ground level. We're ready. We're good.
Yeah, so he has just been like, you've been very civil with one another. You don't hang out by any standard.
But I think since he's been involved with the wedding, and since that's very
you
important
spend
to both of us,
time, but you're doing stuff when you're doing that, right? You aren't just throwing back a cold
we're
one.
not palling around. We're not buds.
No.
We know where we're at together.
Just some details that my father needs a thing. Now you have to understand, as the Ashfords are paying for this wedding, my father wants this to be, and my mother, literally as extravagant as possible. Your mother seems overtly enthused from this. So far they haven't come into any problems. But we are currently talking about the material that the wedding cloaks will be made of. And this is, and Marilia, you of course know, this is the cloaks that have the house symbols on them, where Henrik will remove ceremoniously and put a new one
like
on there.
the exchange of rings kind of thing, right?
Yeah, that's essentially what it is. It's when you remove her house symbol and put yours, showing that she is leaving her house and entering yours.
You are claiming this is like the claim garment.
Yeah, essentially. He was talking about the material. Now, I have no head for such things. Henrik is far more skilled in that manner. And
it's true. That's fair.
Henrik has managed to steal many of the talented individuals that I was able to help find. So I can't quite argue that.
Doesn't quite surprise me. Anyway, of course, this is the Lady Mario, this is our the wedding planner, Wendell Wormwood. And man spins around and goes, "The sister, fabulous, fantastic." And just
prepare yourself.
Goes up to you. This is a man, like his style like screams like 14th century Elizabethan, like Shakespeare-ish style.
I'm sorry, all I can think right now is Twelfth Night. Kind of things.
You're not fucking wrong. But he's got like a circled cravat. He has like a goatee, hair that kind of went into very Tudor style. He's got puffed pantaloons, but very muted colors. And he goes, "Wendell Wormwood, absolute pleasure to make your even faintest acquaintance, my lady. I am so glad you arrived early, as we need many things from you. But we can get into the clothes, the materials, and of course your possible the possibilities in wanting for suitors later. And we can just get into this debate. Now, I understand the want for the highest claim material, which of course, as we all know, is Legion thread. But I personally believe Legion thread is good, but as Lord Ashford has informed me, Lord Ashford, the head Lord Ashford, has recently had a very bad business deal in Lease. Some bad blood there, wasn't made privy to the details. And Ashlyn just like stares at him. He's this mess. But if we want to go away from that, then we are still looking at things across across the sea, and we can't fully make a decision. What do you think? And Ashlyn goes, yes, Mariella, what do you think? I don't want to offend my father by making a deal with a Legion merchant. What do you think?
Can I inquire whether or not there is possibly another merchant that is more in his favor, that he would see this as basically giving some sort of recognition, and as such be maybe even more favorable to him?
Well, the only one Ashlyn goes. Well, the only one I can think of is the problem is Ezra Stone, the mayor of Stonetown, prolific merchant. Unfortunately, he has a sour relationship with the Adderfells, which I know is your mother's maiden home.
Yes.
So we were just worried about stepping on certain toes. Now I know Mayor Ezra was you all have met him before. I'm just wondering, do you think your mother would mind dealing with Ezra, or does she have much closer ties to her, does she have less close ties to her family?
I think we both like scoff at that.
I believe that she is able to see the vision at the end and not be able to put political discrepancies of her parents' families into the matter.
Well, it sounds like then we can get Mirish Silk. But what I'm thinking for the design is this is a meeting of the Reach houses. And yes, I know extravagance is, of course, necessary, but I was thinking that the material should be from the Reach to show the home ground that you two are rooted here. And Ashton goes, whatever the finest material is will be fine. He goes, yes, but symbolically. And what is a wedding if not the ultimate symbol? I mean, tell me I'm wrong. If I'm telling me I'm wrong, I'll dash myself against the rocks. But
I might be curious, what design have you made, rather than possibly focusing on the material at this moment? What exactly?
I'm so glad you asked, Baron. And the claps, and you see a very tall, awkward boy who is obviously like part Bravosi or something from across the aisles. Like his skin tone is like clearly not a white person's. Kind of comes over and like puts several things on the table and flaps it over, and he looks very overworked.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is what I was thinking. We have this absolutely beautiful Recordian silk. Now, this is silk that is seen as a lower quality compared to something like Mirror silk or Legion thread.
I think she just kind of like puts a hand on his forearm.
Yeah.
Could you please describe the design before the material, so then I can understand how the light and movement of it might apply when you then describe it?
Yeah, so he describes that the Legion silk, or the Legion thread or the Mirror silk, the entire thing will shine, but with his thread design, what he wanted to go with Ashlyn is just like whatever the most expensive is, and he's like, cool, but like how about we go a different way, where the base color, the background color, will be matted, but the symbols of the flower and the sun, those will shine instead. So it kind of highlights the symbols more than the entire thing, essentially. And Wendell wants to do that. Ashlyn is just like whatever the most expensive is, and Wendell seems to have some partake with that, being like, well, obviously this is just a high concept first world wedding issue.
May I call you Wendell, or would you prefer Wormwood?
Whatever you love, darling. Whatever you love, my lady.
Wendell.
I go by oath. Excellent.
Possibly. I do enjoy your concept. However, possibly if we go with Lord Ashland's for the exterior of the cape and then go with yours for the interior, so then it seems like it's lighting her up from the inside.
Oh, I see.
So then she is the light.
So have the mirror silk on the other side. So the symbol on the outside will flash, but inside will also. I
Because
love
she
it.
will also be the sun.
No, it's perfect. No, oh my dear, absolutely. Yes. Lord Ashland. And he goes, would that make it more expensive than originally thinking?
She
Yes,
just
it
like
would.
nods over his shoulder.
And Wendell goes, absolutely. He goes, well then do it. Like fantastic. Like it shall be done. So you solve that crisis. But you have a moment there with the group. However, I'm going to quickly go over to Lady Vivienne.
Mm-hmm.
Lady Vivienne, what are you doing to prepare for the Ashford's arrival?
I am making sure that Darren is prepared in case Lord Ashford wants to go out on a hunt. Darren's going to lead that. I would like to also make sure that the guest rooms are the best of our guest rooms are like up to speed and everything else, and then just making sure that I don't know if there's a role I can do to see like what Lord and Lady Ashford like the most, just to make sure that we have that in stock. I just want to make sure that
No,
they have...
I mean you've already made those rolls way earlier, so like you've got this. Like you've Lady Ashford loves oranges. It's like her favorite thing in the world. She loves drinks with orange peels in them. Like it's just like she believes like crushing oranges and rubbing them on her skin is good for her. Like she's like obsessed with oranges for some reason. So you know to have plenty of those.
And to not throw away the scraps in case we can make like a gift for her later.
Yes, absolutely. She loves every bit of an orange.
Mm-hmm.
And you know for a fact that Lord Ashford is quite partial to the type of brandy you guys often come in through the red port. So you make sure to stock up on that.
Yep. Okay, just to make sure that everything is accommodating, that I can anything that's like physical or monetary that we can give them so they can't complain. And then
a part of it, you also know that a lot of the dishes you want to be are seafood because you know at an Ashford wedding they could never have seafood because they're landlocked. So it's a little bit like, oh, it's so extravagant. Only here though.
Yep. Because can't help it, like we're accommodating, but we're also showing off because, you know, be friends, not doormats.
Yep. And with Ashlyn, who was here to like supervise the fee for the wedding, and you're like, oh, what is he going to limit? But he has literally just been like, if it's more expensive, go for it. So there's not really a limit, which you're like, ooh, you can definitely get more unique. More unique fish and seafood dishes and all that good things.
Okay. Yeah.
Excellent. So the Ashfords you have here are arriving. What do you wish done, Vivienne? You're heading this train.
Yeah, I would like to, just because I know there are still some slight tensions between, what are Lord and Lady Ashford's, like, names? Because, is it, like, Ashford?
So,
pretty sure one of his name is
Ashford. It's gotta happen.
Sorry. Yeah.
Sure.
Like, Ashford. Humperdinck. Yes, in fucking deed. So I believe. Hold on, I gotta get to my thing.
Or is it Ashfort? Maybe something that sounds also correct.
Maybe.
Hold on. I know that there is an Ashlyn, an Ashden, and Ashfeld.
So Ashfeld is the lord of the house.
Okay.
Like Len and Den are the brothers.
Yeah. So Ashfeld.
Okay. And his wife's name?
And his wife's name is, hold on, I have it. Erica. It is Gwendolyn.
Gwendolyn, got it.
With a Y.
Mm-hmm.
Of course. God damn it.
Fantasy.
Okay. Yeah, then I would just have especially to make sure if Henrik's there, if he's still with his father, but Tiedric as well, and are Philippa and Tisea, are they still like too young to like meet like formally families when they come in, or can I with our I'll change my question.
Saya's a little
With
bit
our
older
current-
now. Maybe
with
her.
our Tisea, yeah, I'm Valina and Philippa, the two younger twins. But,
I
change
would
my
say I would probably, they're not quite they are talking a bit. They're
Would it be? I'm sorry, I changed my question. Would it be an insult to Lord Ashford if the two youngest, if their
you
youngest did?
for Philippa and think you do not believe so, no.
Okay, so
You believe it
definitely-
would be quite appropriate for that to happen.
Okay, so definitely make sure that
Because they can stand on their own a little bit. They just have to be kind of watched.
Okay. So definitely calling everyone to be there formally to greet them.
Okay. Yeah, so y'all everyone sure. Now, here is the thing. Henrik can't be there.
He
Can
can't
not
see the bride.
her?
Yeah.
Oh, is it like a? Oh,
Okay.
I can't. See
I didn't
her.
know
Okay.
if we were at that stage yet because it's been
You are at that stage.
All
It would be like, what the fuck are you doing if Henrik was there?
Okay.
So he knows that, you know that, you just
Okay.
know, like, cool, everyone obviously except you, Henrik.
Yeah.
Also,
I'll
you're
just-
glad for that because you're a little worried about what that might show up and bring.
Yeah. Then I'll just have someone tell Henrik that Ashella is on
Yeah.
her way, and to, I guess, be his runner in case they're about to cross the same hallway at a distance. Not
Sure.
that might happen, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Henrik's squire can help. Is basically
Okay.
he'll help out with that, which
Alright,
is
then.
your buddy, Felix.
Hey.
Yeah, Felix would be like, I'll of course run interference, ma'am.
Mhm.
Yeah, so everyone but Henrik. Obviously, Ashlyn is there with you. Thorsten, you would be brought up for this part.
Sunlight.
Yeah, I know.
Mhm.
It burns so good.
But yes, the Ashford carriage arrives, which is a massive train of white horses with bright orange plumes everywhere, banners of the sun all over the place. And yeah, walking in, not for the first time, the Ashford family. Tiedric is not here, but I see he BRB'd. But as they come in, Vivian, tell me how you greet the Ashfords.
Yeah. There is someone like hidden in the wings in case, because Henrik told me what happened. So in case Lord Ashford wants to pull a bread and salt immediately, it'll just be there.
Sure.
But I would definitely. Well, do I need to make a roll to see what would be like the proper greeting for like an in-laws? Or
Well, I mean, it's just,
if there's, like-
any greeting right now. You're not quite married yet, but
Okay.
yeah, I mean, obviously warmth, welcome.
Yeah.
I mean, for Lord Ashford, offering a drink can never hurt.
All right, then definitely the brandy. Then coming out. Then I definitely would.
Sweet plum brandy is
Sweet plum brandy. Then yeah, it's like Lord Ashford, welcome once again to our home. And I hope that the travels were not weary as I have sweet plum brandy come in. And then yeah. go
And
ahead.
he's just like, thank you. We see Lord Ashford, Ashford, a tall man, but a little, portly.
Portly.
For his height. It's very strange. Like, he's not much fat, but his belly sticks out a bit. He has no real hair on the top of his head, only really on the sides. He is predominantly bald, except for a strip on the back of his head. And he has a full, like, beard, goatee, but nothing on the sides. And that's where, like, the faded kind of ash blonde hair is. And he goes, yes, no, the trip was quite fun. Yes, what is this?
Sweet plum brandy.
Oh. Well, I don't mind if I He's kind of like a good head, and just quite fine is that. Excellent. Yes, it looks like things are well underway. I am excited. This is going to be quite an undertaking.
Indeed.
Yes, let us. I would very much like to be shown as the Ashfords and the Weirlights are the two greatest houses within the Reach, that we shall never let anyone who attends forget it. I assume we are on one mind of this, my lady.
Of course.
Good.
Why throw
Excellent.
a party if no one ever talks about it?
Exactly. Which everyone still talks about the fucking ball and ash.
Of course.
I feel you, Bailey.
For one reference in each
And I
session.
definitely
came up
want to
before.
agree. I definitely want to agree. Gwendolyn, radiant as the sun as always.
It's like, oh, you're too much, Vivian. It's so good to see you again. Gwendolyn Ashford is like she's like she's a little out of her mind.
Oh,
She's not all there.
okay.
This is due to like this. She has a lot of strange beliefs.
Mhm.
And her maester, she likes to like have her maester create like concoctions for her like beauty and health, and then maybe drinks kind of too much of it. She's just a little odd and a little off. She has a very like a little similar to Illyri. Illyri is just like a little airheaded.
Yeah.
Gwendolyn is like she's maybe been drinking Xanax and wine like a little too much. You know what I mean? Where she's just like,
No, that's just the
"Oh,
mommy
hello."
cocktail. What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
exactly. Like she is full mommy cocktail. Gwendolyn, is literally obsessed with her own image and beauty.
Mhm.
She is much older than you. But she looks very beautiful, especially for her age. But like she is like obsessed
Gotcha.
with her own looks. And a bit from what Henrik has told you, from him talking to, and Mariella has told you from talking to Ashella, that has definitely put a strain on her relationships with her daughters, who also have to be pretty and perfect and beautiful.
Of course.
Otherwise, it looks bad to her.
Mhm.
So the moment you compliment her look, she's like, "Oh, you're too kind, Vivian. Too kind. It's a new." Like my maester comes up with, "I'll give you the like the recipe." I mean, not that you need it, so glowing and effervescent you are.
Oh, please. I could always use a little bit of help. You always look so stunning, and I can't ever get rid of these stubborn crow's feet, but you...
Oh, darling, we'll clear that right up. I mean, we're in-laws now. After all, we can share all of our little secrets with each other. Yeah, yes, absolutely.
You interested in a
bright
curse?
colors, and she just like you just see her eyes like zone the fuck out.
I feel like Thorsten in the back of his mind. Would you like to buy a curse?
Yes. Listen, Vivian, can you please give me just a charm roll? For me at the moment?
Yes. What is their status?
I mean, their
Hi.
status.
It
Their
counts.
yes, the Ashford status is 6.
All right, so I get a +1 bonus dice to my charm.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll add that manually, and here we go. So that's a 22.
Yeah, that's phenomenal. Yes, you immediately put at the Lord and Lady Ashford at ease. Lord Ashford doesn't like demand, right, insult or anything like his son did. He seems like you have immediately appeased him, and he does seem to enjoy what he sees so far. So he's like, excellent. Tedric, the Ashfords have arrived. I'm guessing you go up and greet Lord Ashford.
Yeah, of course.
Yes, he goes, Lord Tedric, and he puts an arm out to you.
No, grip it.
Yep. Good to hear. I hear you, you handily eliminated those blasted deserters.
Oh, yes. It's a glorious tale. If you'd like to hear it, I can tell you sometime.
Oh, yes. Well, we have plenty of time. As long as you have plenty of brandy for us to drink while we talk.
I am certain that we can fulfill that requirement.
Excellent, excellent. Very good. Yes, you've done quite well here. It's like, oh, let me introduce, of course. You've met them formally already. My eldest, Shelika. And just a perfect, poise woman with flowing ash, naturally, slightly curled ash blonde hair, very tall, utterly gorgeous and beautiful, comes in this absolutely perfect dress. And he goes in, and her husband and her husband bows, very attractive knight. He goes, "It's so lovely to see you again, Lady Vivian." So Vivian, you 100% remember Ashelika.
Yeah.
Ashelika has all the beauty of her mother, and also a lot smarter, more aware, and without she's her mother without the addledness.
Gotcha.
The mommy cocktails.
Yep.
Yes, and you've definitely heard Ashelika's barbs before, never to you, but you have heard them about the lesser lady. She's she's older than any of your kids. She's in her early 20s. She's married.
Gotcha.
She has a child.
Mm-hmm.
She greets you and goes, "It's so great to see you again, and I'm so thrilled to know that we will be bound and by marriage soon. Our two families. Well, it's about time." And she curtsies to you, very, very ladylike and daintily. So that's Shelika. He goes, "Oh, of course, and my youngest son, Ashton, boy." And this kid, in that weird, awkward age range where he's a little older than Garrick, but younger, definitely a lot younger than Henrik. And he just comes up. He's obviously a good looking young man. He's got a strong jaw. He's a little on the shorter end. He hasn't hit his growth spurt yet. He's very well dressed, and he's just yeah, right. And fucking people stare at him, and you see Ashfeld stares down at him, and Ashton's lords and ladies, and bows. He looks like he wants to be fucking anywhere else. Right now he's just yep.
Kind of what Garrick would want to do.
Yeah, but Garrick is a lot nicer about it generally. This kid looks like he's bored out of his fucking mind. But yeah, and then of course Mariella, you're the rest of the family is sort of brought up and made. I mean, you're all introduced, you'll know each other, but oh, Mariella, very, very good to see you.
Lord Ashford, a pleasure as always.
Absolutely. So I see there's no Henrik. Is it safe to bring Ashella in then?
It is.
Yes.
Excellent. And he just gestures. And come walking in is Ashella Ashford. Haven't quite seen her in a time. She's not in her wedding dress or anything. But she is wearing this sort of pre-veil just in case. But she has moved it up, seeing as she knows Henrik's not here. And is just well, it's been so long, Mariella. And she smiles at you, and she bows yes, Ashella has told us that you've done very well in Highgarden. You must tell us, my wife, about Lady Marjorie. There's much excitement, I believe, among the ladies about her future. She goes, "Oh yes, I've heard she's just effervescently beautiful. Is that true?"
She's definitely growing into the exquisite flower that she will become.
I'm so glad to hear it. Younger. I'm so glad to hear it. I hope that Ashella being there, she'd pick up more tips. I do wish she cared more about how she looked, but she is a quite intelligent young lady, so I suppose that makes up for something. And Ashella just like stares deadhead and just smiles very brightly.
This is her mother saying it.
That's her mother
Yeah.
saying that.
Holy shit.
Immediately just be like, well, Ashella, I would be pleased to introduce you to Tesea.
Yes.
Next.
Like yes, I would love to meet all the new members of I guess what is to be my family.
I'll have once everyone's settled and everything, there's a bit of a luncheon planned where you can meet all of, well, your future siblings.
I would love that. And Lady Vivienne, it is a quite treat to see you again. You are truly radiant.
Thank you, and you are beautiful.
Yeah, like yes, Lady Vivienne is quite radiant. Perhaps you could show her a thing or two.
Well, I mean, I'm past my prime. Ashella is a rising star to my setting moon, and she has just begun to glow.
Oh, what a poetic way of saying that. Ashy, you used to write me poetry like that. And Ashfeld is like,
Ashy?
yeah, just turns and he goes, do you remember those morns when we honeymooned in Lys? And we would, and you would write poetry. And he goes, you know, my darling, I do. And he just like, she's obviously about to go into a very personal story.
Mm-hmm. Some people, they don't know how to keep their business personal.
And he goes, yes, of course, my darling. How about, she's quite tired from the journey. How about we see our rooms?
Yes, 2 rooms. And I will.
Yes. Immediately, people begin to move them about. Ashella does stay behind a bit and goes up to you, Thorsten, and goes, I'm sorry, I don't believe we've actually been formally introduced. You are Maester Thorsten, are you not?
That is correct. I bow to.
Yeah. And he goes, Ashella. Like Ashella Ashford. Well, for now. I did wonder. I have heard quite some things from my own Maester about you. You were quite the rising star in the Maester world, I heard.
I like to think so.
Can I ask you a personal question? And she does say it like a little quieter.
I get down a little closer. I say, ask away.
With your status as a Maester and your pronouncement, it sounded like to me that you could have worked anywhere. Why did you choose to come back to your family?
I came back to make sure my brother was taken care of in a way that he couldn't take care of himself with.
He goes, duty then.
Duty.
She just seems to absorb that and nod and go, thank you, Maester Thorsten, for answering what I know is to be honestly.
Of course,
and she curtsies again.
I bow back down to her.
And she will move on. And she does mention to you, Lady Vivienne, if a more detailed tour could be arranged at some point. Obviously, if didn't want that before the wedding, she would understand, as she would have time afterwards. But
yeah. Maybe I think we have time now. Like if like in between what the events that we have set up.
For at least part of it, yeah. Maybe not a complete tour because it's huge.
At this point, Ashlyn does come up and go, Father, and he goes, my boy, yes, I nearly forgot you were here. And he goes, just smiles at him. He goes, yes, I nearly forgot you were here. So is everything going well? He goes, yes. How did there was an accord? We should not have to speak about that in detail later. I believe so. He goes, oh yes, my perfect darling boy. Yes, why haven't you been married yet? He goes, Mother, I was married 5 years ago. He goes, yes, of course, my perfect boy. How many children have you given me? And he goes, we have a son. Good. Any girls yet? Not yet, Mother. You do ask every time. Yes, well, it is so important to have girls. They're such a necessary part to a family. Because you have to have multiple, because not all of them turn out good. And he goes,
Christ.
Mother, I think you should lie down. Oh, I am feeling faint a bit. He goes, yes, and just kind of moves her. And you do see as they're kind of walking away, Ashlyn and Ashella are walking next to each other, and there's this very small moment where Ashlyn like touches Ashella's shoulder and squeezes it, and she like touches his hand, and then they just like stop and keep going. This brief moment of genuine sibling affection that only they two seem to share, and definitely they do not share with any of their other siblings. Like Ashton's like, so is this? Do you think this is bigger than our castle? I feel like ours is a lot taller. I think Ashelica goes, Ashton, that's very rude to state to point out such other glaring obviousnesses. Yeah, from what you can see, Ashelica and Ashton seem like just pieces of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you see, if this castle was much taller, the wind and the water from the ocean would tend to wear it down much faster than it already does.
Oh, fascinating. I suppose you have to do that thing when you live so close to a place, to the ocean. I don't know much about it besides it smells like fish.
It's a marvelous thing.
I
sure it
think
will
in the
be.
back of Mariella's mind, this does not cross her lips. Like, in regards to
Mhm.
Ashelica, it's like, this coming from the woman who lives with her father rather than at her husband's home.
Yeah, that is a thing. That is a thing. She does do that.
Mhm.
They go back and forth, but she spends most of her time at Ashford Castle. For the snotty teens is no, it's awesome. It's the best. Yeah. So as everyone is secured, Henrik, you do hear the Ashfords move through the apartments, and you hear what sounds like Ashlyn and Ashella talking, and there's a brief laugh from Ashella, and you know she is here. Do you do anything? Do you do something, if anything?
I don't go outside because that's no. I think I'm actually going to sit down at my desk and I'm going to pen a quick note
Okay.
that just says I know we're not supposed to see each other to the wedding, but I heard you were here and I'm glad to welcome you into my home and to my family and my life. And I'm going to hold on to that until hopefully when she's in her room or like later if I can give it
I mean, that can be now. Like they can be placed in places.
Yeah, I'll sign in.
Are you attaching that to the gift you got her? Or...
The gift cannot be attached to that, so no.
Okay. Absolutely.
That would be awkward.
So you slip that under her door?
Yes.
Okay. Cute. Can you make a charm roll for me?
Sure. Yeah, sure. 16.
Are you happy with that?
I don't think I could.
Anyone
can I reroll?
would this count
I don't
with
know if
anyone's with
looking at me,
attractive? Or...
I don't think it's a count.
It would, but we would only start applying that if this is the role you want to keep.
I mean, if I could re-roll that one, I'd still like to re-roll that one.
Right, but that means you're keeping the roll and you can't re-roll it, is what I'm saying. The whole thing. Like, are you good with the 16 possibly?
16's pretty good. I'll keep that and just re-roll the one. Yeah.
Okay.
16's okay. I'll
Yeah. I just want to make sure.
Next thing. I'll keep that roll and just re-roll the one.
Re-roll a one. Okay, so that
18.
it still doesn't change.
So
yeah, it doesn't change. You would have to gone above 3. But yeah, 16. Okay. I will make a note. Okay. So I will say you did succeed, but only just. Only just.
Okay.
But you did succeed. So you have sent that note off. The Ashfords are here. The wedding is getting planned for. like people are running about making sure everything is perfect, all the while that Clarissa and Thorsten have a dreaded knowledge coming forth that there is a curse about to overtake, and they need to find a way to abate it before the wedding, now without sacrificing a child.
Or Henrik.
That too.
If we could not sacrifice me, that would be really great before my
Or
wedding.
Tiedrick,
That's
because if Tiedrick dies, then Henrik is Lord, and then you have to find a different heir.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
You're muted,
That
Jesse.
that would be Garrick
Yeah, then,
until you have kids.
then it's a good thing I didn't die in that
Oh,
battle.
so, yeah.
Yes.
it is a
Really
good
is.
thing.
Fair.
But it is there where we will close out our game for the day. Thank you so much for joining us for the next leg in the journey of House Weirlight, as our young lord is getting married. And like, unlike every other wedding and event that has happened in the past, I'm sure this one will go absolutely smoothly.
Of course.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Absolutely smoothly.
Sorry, I had a little
The reach is
allergic attack
just
of
like,
bullshit there.
yes, that
Mhm.
orange wedding, it was wonderful.
Indeed.
Orange wedding.
The orange wedding. But we will see you guys next time. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for my players for being here. Thank you so much for Bailey for coming back. Clarissa is back in, I think, very heavily missed. And we have the team. Hopefully next time we'll have all the team together, and we will see how this wedding turns out. I mean, every other engagement has gone so well. So can Henrik win over his bride before
See.
they send dates? Will Vivian and Mariella make the perfect entrances, the examinations, and of course meetings to secure their futures properly? Will Tiedrick ever stop telling this story?
Nope.
Never.
And will Clarissa and Thorsten find a way to save their future lady from what is most certainly a terrible fate? We'll see next time. Thank you for joining us. Have a very good night.